Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Luna, see what's going on, and obviously hope you understand a little bit about big picture, best practice. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. Link in the description below if you want to become a better trader. CryptoCache.tech is the website there. I provide you with a trading academy, signals for every single trade that I take, and more importantly, an amazing community at your back helping you 24/7. So really cool stuff. Check that out in your own time. Looking here at Luna though, this is actually a request from one of my community members. We have an open trade as well, a swing trade. We've taken decent profits in the past and we'll probably take them again here in the near future once we break out to the upside. Now, in that regard, we want to take a look at some of the important things here. First of all, we've got this ascending type of wedge pattern here forming, which does typically lead to a breakout as it continues to push itself into a corner. Now, is there a guarantee on this? No, definitely not, but patterns have a tendency of repeating themselves. So in this case, we could and should expect it to continue to progress upwards, considering it's still honoring that, right? Taking a look at the moving averages, I think they're still below, not a super important thing to factor in right now. Taking a look at the RSI, up over 50, under 70. That's perfect on the 1 day. I like to see that because that gives us a chance to be able to calm down. It just basically means we have more potential leg room here to leg up and to effectively be able to continue to progress back up to 70 on the RSI, possibly even break that once we break this key level resistance right around $100. Now, just something to note too, because I get the question like, hey, it broke its all-time high. Why didn't it break out further? Well, technically it broke it by about $1. So yes, that's a break above, but it wasn't firm. It didn't have enough time to consolidate at that level, and concurrently Bitcoin sold off pretty hard too. So we got to recognize the fact that even though Luna's doing very well on its own, Bitcoin's still kind of complementing this and affecting it, because Luna can do much better when Bitcoin is stable. Bitcoin's proven to be fairly unstable lately with these sharp increases and decreases. And this is the kind of the reaction there. These every decrease you see here from Luna is that knee-jerk reaction from Bitcoin selling off as soon as it came up to a resistance level. So again, just something to be mindful of. And looking here too, of course, we do have a MACD divergent, so to speak, but that's kind of almost null and void. Like I mentioned yesterday, I believe, I don't really see a lot of value in the 1 day MACD sometimes because it can give us it gives us an overall trend, but I would say you need to go either much larger or much smaller to get the best accurate response. In other words, weekly or monthly perhaps, but I think the 4 hour is the most ideal because it helps you understand that transition. And why don't we go ahead and take a look at the 4 hour too, because I'm fairly certain we probably had a convergence. Yes, we did have MACD convergence here recently, of course, when the price action kind of jumped back up above 88 and continued to progress upwards. But if you are familiar with Bitcoin's price action, we have a situation here where Bitcoin sold off pretty hard, right? And then it's come back up ever since. Luna did the same thing as well, only it didn't sell off super hard. It just kind of sold off a little bit. So this is a great sign. This shows a lot of strength here in the sense that Luna's doing well on its own. In other words, yes, it sold off just like Bitcoin did and every other altcoin did as well, but it didn't sell off tremendously like you'd expect considering how overextended it should be, right? Because again, the price is very high compared to where it was at months ago. So once again, that's a good testament to how good it looks and just how awesome Luna is actually doing. So again, that's a very good sign. Now, we're up over the 50-day SMA as well as the 200, so those are also equally as beneficial, and we're still holding above 50 in the RSI here. We bounced above, and we could effectively use that as a support now, concurrent with the 50 on the SMA. So we should expect a bounce to the upside here, right around $89 as a rough estimate, and have the price continue to progress upwards from here. Again, based on those sentiments alone, that's essentially what the charts are telling us. So the 4 hour looks, all in all, very, very good. There's literally nothing adverse on the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour though, let's go ahead and see here because we do have a pullback. Of course, it makes sense because we probably hit a 9, which we did. So we hit a 9 on TD sequential, basically telling us we were overextended. We had a 9 hour push to the upside. And then of course, we've got this 5 hour decrease here. So there is potential for 4 more hours of continuation of the downside. But the important thing here is that we're making higher highs and higher lows. So if you see this is technically a little bit higher there, and this is higher as well. And so is this here. So truth be told, we are making a nice shift here where these lower highs and lower lows, this pattern is behind us, okay? So that's a good sign. That basically means we're in a transition. Bitcoin is not exuding the same behavior. It's not truly making higher highs and higher lows. Even on the 1 day, it's making lower lows and lower highs. So we got to acknowledge the fact that Bitcoin's on a slightly downtrend, at least in the last couple of weeks. The overall uptrend is good. Bitcoin's still ascending in a type of wedge pattern, but Luna is effectively doing 2 times that, if that makes any sense. And we also see this nice transition here as well, which should imply that we'll see a push to the upside. All right, so again, that's just kind of where we're at there with that. Ichimoku Cloud probably tells us we got a breakthrough. Yes, we do almost. It's almost free and clear. Price action isn't quite free there, or the lagging span isn't free of the price action. But we do have a potential break above the cloud here soon, very soon, but the conversion line's above the baseline. That's a really big deal. So ultimately, yes, we've only got one indication of a buy signal here for the cloud, but within the next hour or two, we should have multiple buy signals, which is a good sign. So again, Luna looks like it's going to do well. I would say wait about 3 to 4 hours potentially for a little bit larger of a pullback. But generally speaking, we should expect the price to progress higher than lower based on the cloud potentially breaking through here soon. It definitely should. I'd be surprised if the price continues to come down this low. But just that's why we wait, of course, too. But generally speaking, we're still honoring this trend line as well. We've got the 4-hour MACD convergence. Everything on the 4-hour looks very good. We're up over the RSI on 50 as well as the moving averages. So a lot of little things are kind of adding up here to show that Luna is actually expecting to increase from here. Higher highs and higher lows in the 1 hour, plus the really nice 4 hour, will translate to a very nice 1-day candlestick. And that's ultimately what we're looking for, right? Is to continue this pattern here, because we want this ascending pattern to continue. So, again, tomorrow, the day after, kind of just, we want this to continue to progress like this, right? So, building that foundation essentially to be able to break 100,000 comfortably and then to stay above at that point. That's what we really want, all right? We want stability. We don't like volatile craziness, which is unfortunately what we get in crypto, and you just kind of got to roll with it, right? So either way, I hope you learned something here today and this makes sense to you. If you want to become a community member, link in the description below, CryptoCache.tech. I look forward to working with you. And of course, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you soon.